on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shilt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
The pitch, Gavin swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. This one is way back, gonna go! Gavin Sheets, a 3-run home run, his third extra base hit of the day, and a no-doubter to give the Padres their first lead of the afternoon. It's 6-4.
The Gavin Sheets show rolls on to Cincinnati as the Padres win it 6-4 on this Saturday. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Hey, player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with a Lux Hotel Tower opening soon, new dining, and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Final totals here today for the Padres, 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. And for the Reds, 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Padres win the middle game of this series, setting up a rubber game of this series tomorrow. Padres improved to 45-37. Reds dropped to 43-40 on the season. Lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll have a full game recap for you. Go back to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. A full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, your phone calls, and much, much more to come. But the story of this game, no doubt about it, was Gavin Sheets. What a day for Gavin. Let's recap what Gavin Sheets did in this game, both at the plate and in the field. First off, Padres were facing one of the tougher starting pitchers in baseball this season in young left-hander Andrew Abbott, who is especially tough on lefties. We talked about it pregame. Abbott had been one of the best pitchers in baseball, but against lefties, well below a 200 opponent batting average. He really gives lefties fits. And wouldn't you know it, Gavin Sheets against them today had 2 doubles and 1 hit at 107 miles per hour off the bat. So Gavin Sheets, before he even had his biggest impact on this game, he alone had 2 hits against this lefty Abbott, who is so tough against lefties. So right there, 2 hits against Abbott, that would have been impressive enough in its own right. But then you get to the 5th inning and into the 7th inning, where Gavin Sheets had his biggest impact on this game. Padres are trailing by a score of 4-1. In the 5th inning, Reese Hines at the plate with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Sheets makes an outstanding catch to save a run and in that bottom half of the 5th inning. If Sheets does not make that catch moving towards the line, full extension dive, guess what? Reds take a 5-1 lead, and it may have ended up being an even bigger inning. So first, Gavin Sheets takes a runaway with an outstanding diving catch in left field. And then the Padres, who trailed in this game 3-0, they trailed 4-1. They got to 4-3 via the 2-run home run by Jake Cronenworth in the 6th inning. Gavin Sheets comes up in the top of the 7th, Padres trailing by 1, 2 runners on base against the guy in Lyon Richardson, who really didn't have command. He fell behind Sheets 3-1, and Sheets absolutely clobbered a ball to right field in Cincinnati. Got all of it, no doubter. Smooth swing for Gavin Sheets. 107 off the bat. It won 422 feet, his 13th home run of the season, and the Padres took a 6-4 lead. They go on to win by that final score. So again, Gavin Sheets had the 2 doubles against Abbott. He had a play in left field that saved a run and potentially a big inning for the Reds. And he also has the go-ahead 3-run home run. What a day for Gavin Sheets. And what a story he continues to be for this team. You have to put it in the context of who Gavin Sheets was when he walked inside the clubhouse at spring training in Peoria. This guy was on a minor league contract. Hits a bunch of home runs during Cactus League games, makes the team, and he has been everything you could have hoped for and more. And he's playing a good left field. I know early on it was a little bit iffy out there for Gavin, but you look at what he's doing right now in left field, playing out there almost every day. Mike Shildt had a great answer in the pregame show today talking about how important it is for Sheets to be able to play left field because it allows the Padres to have a little bit more versatility in the lineup. Hey, Gavin Sheets right now, against a righty, against a lefty, he's got to be in the lineup every day. So if you could only use him in the DH spot and you couldn't play him in left, well, guess what? That means you're not nearly as flexible lineup-wise, and that's part of what we saw today with Arise DHing and Iglesias at second and Cronenworth at first. Gavin Sheets playing left field is part of why Mike Shildt can do that with his lineup today. He's played a good left field, and offensively, he's been everything you could ask for. Just a tremendous day for Gavin Sheets. And to me, that is where the story of this game begins. Padres bullpen did a really good job. Overall, the Padres did a good job. Let's be honest about it. They're trailing 3-0 in this game. After 2 innings, a guy named Andrew Abbott, who has been so good on the mound this season, you're kind of thinking to yourself, here we go again. And Abbott's been really good. And Randy Vasquez is allowing a ton of hits and a ton of base runners. Wasn't a great day for Randy. We'll get into him a little bit more later. But the Padres, to their credit, they made it a 3-1 game. Then they trailed 4-1, and they come back to tie this game, ultimately take the lead on the 3-run go-ahead home run for Gavin Sheets. So no doubt about it, really, really nice win for the Padres here today. And now they have an opportunity to win this 3-game series in the rubber match tomorrow. When we come back, a full game recap. We'll also hear from Mike Shildt coming up a little bit later as well. Final score in Cincinnati on what is a gorgeous Saturday here in San Diego. Padres 6 and the Reds 4. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres bounce back in the middle game of this 3-game series in Cincinnati. Final score, Padres 6 and the Reds 4. We'll go back to Cincinnati, Ohio. Hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit. This was an interesting ball game. Early on, it was not looking great for the Pods, but they found a way to battle back. Let's recap it from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Let's start in the bottom half of the first inning. Randy Vasquez on the mound today for the Padres. There were 2 on and 2 out for the Reds. Gavin Lux.
And Lux swings, lines it into left field. That's a base hit. McLean will come in to score, and the Reds with another first inning run. More than any team in baseball, they take a 1-0 lead.
A 1-0 lead for the Reds after 1. Padres had scoring chances early against Red starter Andrew Abbott. 2 on and 2 out in the top of the second. They did not score. In the bottom half, Randy got in trouble again. He gave up a couple of singles. There were 2 on base for TJ Friedel.
And a line drive over Iglesias into right field, base hit. Hines comes in to score. Espinal goes first to third. And an RBI hit for TJ Friedel to give the Reds a 2-0 lead in the second.
Matt McLean followed with a looper into center that Jackson Merrill almost caught on a dive. He couldn't get it. An RBI single for McLean. The Reds led at 3-0. Padres had a golden scoring chance against Abbott in the top of the fourth with the bases loaded and 1 out. But Abbott got Jake Cronenworth to line out to left. A ground out from Martin Maldonado to end the inning. So the Padres still trailed 3-0 going to the top of the fifth inning. It was Luis Arise who led off against Abbott.
One pitch, and Arise hits it in the air to deep right field. Hines is going back at the wall. He looks up. It's going to go out halfway up the stands in right field for Luis Arise. His 4th home run of the season. And the Padres are on the board. It's 3-1.
Padres had a chance for more. They had back-to-back one-out singles from Jackson Merrill and Fernando Tatis Jr., but they did not score any more in that 5th inning. The Reds then answered in the top of the 6th. Randy Vasquez issued a leadoff walk and a one-out double to put 2 runners in scoring position. Reds didn't answer in the top of the 5th. It was the not the top of the 6th, bottom of the 5th. Why did I write down top of the 6th? Reds answered in the bottom of the 5th. Leading 3-1 at this point. Randy Vasquez issued a leadoff walk and a one-out double to put 2 runners in scoring position. Brian Hoeing then replaced Vasquez. Tyler Stevenson hit a sac fly to score a run. The Reds led 4-1. Cincinnati reliever and former Padre Scott Barlow came in the top of the 6th inning. Reds leading 4-1. Jose Iglesias hit a leadoff single. Jake Cronenworth was next.
One of the Cronenworth hit in the air to deep right field. Hines is going back on the warning track at the wall, looking up, gonna go. 2-run homer, Jake Cronenworth, and a 1-run game here in the 6th inning.
7th home run of the season for Jake. Hoeing would then work around a leadoff single in the bottom of the 6th inning to keep it a 1-run game. Right-hander Lyon Richardson came on for the Reds in a 4-3 game in the 7th. Jackson Merrill hit a leadoff double. Xander Bogaerts drew a one-out walk to put runners on first and third. That brought up Gavin Sheets. The count went to 3-1.
The pitch, Gavin swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. This one is way back, gonna go! Gavin Sheets, a 3-run home run. His 3rd extra base hit of the day, and a no-doubter to give the Padres their first lead of the afternoon. It's 6-4.
Home run number 13 on the season for Gavin Sheets, and it was a big one. A go-ahead 3-run home run. Padres had a 6-4 lead at the 7th inning stretch. Adrian Morajón delivered a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th inning. Jason Adam retired the side in order in the 8th inning. Padres still led 6-4 going to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Robert Suarez came on. He struck out the first batter, but then issued a walk to TJ Friedel. He walked Elly De La Cruz with 2 outs to put the tying runs on base. The game was left up to the Reds' Spencer Steer, who represented the winning run.
Suarez delivers and a swing and a miss. Blew him away with a 101-mile-per-hour fastball, and this game goes to the Pods.
And that was that here today. Padres with a come-from-behind 6-4 win to even up this 3-game series in Cincinnati at a game apiece. Padres 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. The Reds 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Padres improved to 45-37. Reds dropped to 43-40. Winning pitcher in this game, well-deserved win for Brian Hoeing, who went an inning and 2/3 scoreless, allowed 1 hit. Losing pitcher was Lyon Richardson, who had a rough 7th inning, gave up the go-ahead home run to Sheets. And Robert Suarez continuing an all-star caliber first half of the season, even though today was game number 82, first half of the season in all-star language. He puts together a scoreless ninth inning, his 23rd save of this season. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Again, the final score in Cincinnati, Padres 6 and the Reds 4. Our post-game coverage continues after these words.
Stay
Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Padres win it 6-4 against the Cincinnati Reds on this Saturday, evening up this three-game series at a game apiece. Rubber match of this series tomorrow. We'll have much more on that game coming up a little bit later on. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Padres trailed 3-0 today in Cincinnati. They trailed 4-1, but they stormed back to win this game by a final of 6-4. Luis Arraez a solo home run to make it 3-1. Jake Cronenworth made it a one-run game, made it 4-3 with a two-run home run in the sixth inning. And then the big blow of the game, Gavin Sheets, a go-ahead three-run home run against right-hander Lyon Richardson out of the bullpen for Cincinnati, put the Padres ahead 6-4. And the Padres bullpen did the rest. Adrian Morejon, Jason Adam, and Robert Suarez, 3 scoreless innings combined out of the bullpen. Once Sheets hit the home run, it felt like it was set up really nicely for the Padres. Their bullpen well rested for one of the rare times over the course of the last handful of weeks. And those 3 guys got it done. Morejon, Adam, and Suarez, 3 scoreless innings out of the pen, and the Padres pick up a nice win. As we know, the Padres are not a team that they've not relied on the home run ball a lot this season. Today was the 5th game the Padres have hit 3 or more home runs this season. The 2nd game they've done that this week. So like Jesse and Tony alluded to during the course of the broadcast, it's going to be interesting to see, really if the home runs tick up for the Padres as the weather gets warmer and hopefully just their stars, overall play a little bit better. Guys who we know can hit the ball out, a la Fernando, had a lot of home runs early, has not had, very many at all since the beginning of May. But hey, home runs are good. They can score runs quickly. And we saw that today. Padres erased a 3-run deficit, 2-run home run, made it a 1-run game, 3-run home run, gave the Padres a 2-run lead. Bullpen did the rest. Just like that, Padres had a 6-4 win here today. With all that in mind, let's go back to Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
You talked about the importance of what power could bring, but the bat you put together, wearing down Abbott, I assume that's something that you looked at today and said that got you to a point.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. Listen, I got through the ball well, but you looked up, he's in the 5th grinding on 95 and 95 pitches and good at bats. Lefties, Sheets against the lefty, Louis against the lefty, Jackson great at bats. But yeah, a little bit of attrition, especially, sometimes with the environment the way it is. But, guys just kept going. We talked about actually for the game. Sometimes, you don't actually break through at that moment, but you're setting yourself up to break through later, and break through we did. Nice job by Louis, Crony, Jax, Sheetsy, and then the other guys took good at bats too to make him work.
What can you say about last year? You guys really exploded with the power later in the season. What can you say about what it can do for you? Because you have that in your guys.
Yeah, we definitely have it. We've seen what it does when it's on display. It's a tricky thing, power, because, in the era where, pull side homers, or nothing approach, a lot of times get you nothing. So balance it out, but balance it out with power.
And I assume that just like last year, you feel like that the line drive hitting, it eventually will lead to your guys.
I don't think there's any question. Listen, it's a fairly proven deal. If you hit line drives, you use the whole field, and you stay on the baseball, and you make good swing decisions, and you have power, you're going to hit and you're going to get your power. If you're not making good swing decisions and you're looking for power and you're not staying on the baseball through the middle part of the field, you're going to get inconsistency.
A 3-run homer was a 3-run homer, but his play in the 5th inning, as big a defensive play as there was in the game.
Yeah, that's a great point. He beat him on both sides of the ball today, and it was a nice contribution. It was a plus play, big play for a lot of reasons. It's a couple runs on the board, and still opportunity for them to get more. So, he drove in 3 and took away at least 2.
What do you think about the flow in this game? Randy was having trouble leading the ball up, but he was able to. It's kind of amazing, the 3 runs, and then you guys just kept kind of, falling short, like putting guys on, like we talked about.
Yeah, we just kept scratching and clawing, man. That's what this team does, and that's the only thing you can ask them to do. And it goes on both sides of the ball. I think it was, Randy wasn't as sharp as he's been. I think he'd be the first to admit that. I also will say they had a really nice approach. Their first 7 hits were either right through the middle, talk about approach, or the opposite field, and they were, boom, taking their knocks, and not trying to do too much against him. And so they put together some really good at bats, and he was able to get into the 5th and do some, allow us to kind of go with it in the bullpen at that point. But to your point, he kept it at 3. Of course, the leadoff walk in the 5th didn't help his cause, and now we get to the unsung hero of the game, which is Brian Hoeing. Yeah, who comes in, boom, 2 outs, clean 6th, holds it right there. Welcome back, Brian Hoeing gets his win. And those are the guys that, we talk about that can be the unsung heroes in games when you come back. It's the guy that held the fort right there. And then, of course, Morgan was fantastic again, and Jason was great, and Robert was good being back.
Yeah, what were your thoughts of Robert in the ninth inning?
So,
walks, but
yeah. I mean, the first walk, Friedel kind of earned it. He was going at him, and he laid off the 1-2 change, and then a couple fastballs just missed. McLean put a good at bat on him. And then at that point, it was really being careful to De La Cruz and being smart about that. And not that you want to invite in a guy like Steer who had 3 homers last night, but you didn't want to see De La Cruz get a ball that he could do something with.
all right, Mike.
Appreciate it.
All right, that was Mike Shildt after today's game. 6-4 Padres beat the Cincinnati Reds. A lot of good stuff to chew on. You heard Mike Shildt talk about the bullpen there, some Robert Suarez, some Brian Hoeing. We'll talk more about the Padres bullpen on the other side of this break. We'll also hear some post-game reaction from Gavin Sheets, who had the big day, 3 extra base hits, including a go-ahead home run in the top half of the 7th inning. A great catch, and really in the big picture of this game, a very, very important catch in left field in the 5th inning as well. So we'll hear from Gavin Sheets when we return. Again, the final score in the middle game of this series in Cincinnati: Padres 6 and the Reds 4. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score: Padres 6 and the Reds 4 in Cincinnati. We'll go back to the clubhouse in Cincinnati. Here's some post-game reaction from Gavin Sheets coming up in just a little bit. If you want to get a phone call in, react to today's game, you can do that at 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. Phone number to dial if you want to get involved on this Saturday in San Diego. My goodness, an absolutely gorgeous Saturday in San Diego. In OB, I think we've got some kind of street fair going on today. I saw it on my way in, so that's where you can find me later on this evening. Maybe hit up the street fair for a little bit, get some food, enjoy some music, whatever they got going on there. This is my first ever OB street fair since becoming an OB resident. So very, very exciting night. But don't worry, I'll be back here tomorrow morning for you. Final game of this 3-game series. More on that game coming up a little bit later. If you want to get involved on social media, you can do that as well. You can find me on X or Instagram at SammyLev, SammyLev. Our YouTube comments open on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Let me know what your thoughts are about this 6-4 win for the Padres, and I may just read your comment live here on the air. Really, really good day for the Padres bullpen. Let's talk more about it with our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Our relief pitcher of the game, we'll give it to Brian Hoeing. Really could go a number of different ways with this, but Hoeing did a really good job. He went an inning and 2/3 scoreless, faced 6 batters, allowed 1 hit. All he gave up was a single in this game. He really did a nice job, Brian Hoeing, finishing up the 5th inning. Got some help from Gavin Sheets, who made that outstanding catch in the 5th to end the inning. We'll talk a little bit more about that catch from Gavin in a moment. Gave up a sacrifice fly, that run charged against Randy Vasquez, but you know what? In that spot, runners on, I guess in that spot, it was a 2 on with 1 out. Sac fly brings in a run. You had runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and he gets out of it with just the 1 run given up. So did a good job keeping the deficit at where it was, and Hoeing did a real nice job in this game. Again, inning and 2/3 scoreless, and you look at it too. When Cronenworth hits the home run in the top of the 6th inning to make it a 1-run game, 1-run deficit, you need Brian Hoeing to go out there and keep it a 1-run game. And that's exactly what he did. It's what we call a shutdown inning, and he did that today. Rest of the bullpen was great. You could have gone a number of different ways with this. Adrian Morahone, he continues to be terrific. A scoreless 7th. Jason Adam, a scoreless 8th inning. Robert Suarez picks up his 23rd save of the season with a scoreless 9th inning. By the way, for Adrian Morahone, he continues to be just stellar. We've talked about this before with Adrian, but you look at his last 17 appearances now, 16 and 2/3 innings, no earned runs, 3 hits allowed. He struck out 17, just 2 walks given up, and an .055 opponent batting average in his last 17 appearances. I talked about it for a while on Wednesday after Adrian had pitched the 2 scoreless innings in Tuesday's win and then got the save on Wednesday against the Nationals. You cannot say enough about what he continues to do and the kind of reliever he's turned himself into, really. So it's a larger conversation, just the praise that I put on Adrian for what he's done over the course of the last couple of years. But as of late, he's been tremendous, and another really, really good setup outing here today. Scoreless 7th inning, but again, Hoeing, we'll give it to him. Inning and 2/3 scoreless. Good work from Brian Hoeing, and it's very good to have Brian Hoeing in this bullpen, isn't it? He's really valuable. He's had a good career. He did good work for the Padres last season after the trade from Miami. It's good to have Brian Hoeing back. And by the way, we'll hear from Brian Hoeing on our pregame coverage tomorrow. Let's hear today's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
Run they allowed in the top of the inning, and this one is hit well to left field. Gavin Sheets, long run, and he dives to make the catch towards the line. What a play by Gavin Sheets to end the 5th.
Absolutely tremendous catch by Gavin Sheets. It saved a run. It kept it a 3-run deficit. And it was a huge play in this game when you think about the Padres coming back to win it. Absolutely. Gavin Sheets did it all today. He had the 2 doubles against a really tough lefty in Andrew Abbott. He made that catch to save a run and also prevent the bigger inning. That ball gets by Gavin Sheets. Not only is it a 5-1 game in the fifth, but who knows? How do you know the next guy doesn't hit a 2-run home run and all of a sudden you're down by 6 runs? So could have been a much bigger inning. And Gavin Sheets, great catch to end the inning, and then later go-ahead home run to flip it from a 4-3 deficit into a 6-4 lead. Just a great catch by Sheets on what was a great, great day for Gavin, no doubt about it. That was our catch of today's game. Well, Gavin Sheets spoke inside the Padres clubhouse just moments ago. Here was Gavin talking about the team's offensive approach today as they win it 6-4.
The ball flies here, and just not trying to do too much and have good at bats, and we were able to hit a bunch out of the ballpark today, which has been new for us, and that's something we fed off of. But more importantly, just big at bats today, all up and down.
Speaking of which, I think what we talked about the other day against the lefty, you exemplified today. How did you feel about going against? That's one of the better.
Yeah, it felt good. You know when you come into today's game that you understand what you're going up against, and you know what kind of season he's having, what kind of stuff he has. And, you just try to get a game plan together and put together a really good day and just compete against him. He's having a great year. He's got good stuff. And, I thought we did a really good job of that today. We never got out of the game and battled against him and then got to the bullpen and put some good swings to the ball.
That was Gavin Sheets talking about the Padres offense and what they did against Andrew Abbott today. Again, Sheets had 2 doubles against Abbott, who came in just so very tough on left-handers. Andrew Abbott, we talked about it pregame, came in with an opponent batting average against lefties of 169 and a 475 OPS. Righties were not a whole lot better, hitting at 201 against Abbott this season. But Gavin Sheets, lefty on lefty, 2 doubles today. One of them hit off the bat at 107 miles per hour. And that was before he made the catch in left field to save a run and the go-ahead 3-run home run. Let's focus a little bit more on the defense. Here was Gavin Sheets talking about the work he's put in defensively playing the outfield.
You can do as much as you want in practice, but until it works in games, until you see it feeding off games, that's what really matters. So to see it work in games and get better reads, better and better each day. And like I said earlier, there's still ways to go, but it's starting to translate to the games, and it's exciting.
Was that ball slicing away from you? It seemed like.
Yeah. Just and I think he broke his bat too, so it just had that little hook topspin on it, and make that play there and save a run was big for us.
That was Gavin Sheets inside the Padres clubhouse after this 6-4 win against the Cincinnati Reds. When we come back, we'll get to your phone calls, 833-288-0973. If you want to get a phone call in, again, the phone number, 833-288-0973. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, our play of the game. We'll wrap things up, get you ready for the series finale in Cincinnati tomorrow. Padres beat the Reds today 6-4. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres win it 6-4 against the Cincinnati Reds as the Padres again improved to a record of 45-37. Reds dropped to 43-40, setting up a rubber game of this 3-game series. Tomorrow, we'll preview the series finale tomorrow, coming up in just a little bit. If you want to squeeze a phone call in, 833-288-0973, the phone number to call if you want to chime in about today's game. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have a number of finals already today. The Marlins beat the Diamondbacks for a second straight day in Arizona, 8-7, the final in 10 innings. Marlins scoring a run in the top of the 10th, and the Diamondbacks unable to match it in the bottom half. White Sox beat the Giants 1-0 in Chicago today. White Sox getting the lone run of that game on an Andrew Benintendi home run. That was it. White Sox win it 1-0. Royals beat the Dodgers 9-5 in Kansas City. So that's a bit of good news today as well. Brewers beat the Rockies 5-0 in Milwaukee. Red Sox beat up on the Blue Jays at Fenway 15-1. 15 runs on 18 hits today for the Red Sox. Cardinals beat the Guardians 9-6 in Cleveland. Rangers beat the Mariners in 10 by a final score of 3-2. Rangers winning that one in the bottom half of the 10th inning on a Marcus Semien RBI single to break a 2-2 tie. Rays, maybe the hottest team in baseball right now. They beat the Orioles 11-3 in Baltimore. Tigers beat the Twins 10-5 in Detroit. A's beat the Yankees 7-0 in New York. It continues to be a rough go of it as of late for the Yanks. Games going on right now. Pirates trying to beat the Mets for a second straight day. They lead 3-2 in the 8th inning right now in Pittsburgh. Braves ahead of the Phillies 2-0 in Atlanta in the 3rd. Cubs 1, Astros 0 in Houston in the 3rd. And one game yet to begin. Nationals in Anaheim against the Angels at 6:38. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday. Final score in Cincinnati today, Padres 6 and the Reds 4. Padres trailed 3-0 in this game. They trailed 4-1. Jake Cronenworth, a 2-run home run to make it a 4-3 game. I should mention as well, Luis Ariz hit his 4th home run of the season when it was 3-0 to make it 3-1. But the Reds responding with a run on a sac fly in the bottom half of the 5th to make it 4-1. Cronenworth, then a 2-run home run in the 6th inning to make it a 4-3 game. Then in the top of the 7th inning, Jackson Merrill started the inning against reliever Lyon Richardson, a right-hander, with a leadoff double. Richardson issued a 1-out walk to Xander Bogaerts. That put the tying and go-ahead runs on base. It was Gavin Sheets who dug in. Sheets already had 2 doubles on the day, an outstanding catch in left field. It was Sheets against Richardson, and that set the scene for our play of today's game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's Play of the Game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
The pitch, Gavin swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. This one is way back, gonna go! Gavin Sheets, a 3-run home run. His 3rd extra base hit of the day, and a no-doubter to give the Padres their first lead of the afternoon. It's 6-4.
What a swing, what a moment for Gavin Sheets today. His 13th home run of the season, a go-ahead 3-run home run in the top of the 7th inning to give the Padres a 6-4 lead. They go on to win by that final score. You look at the numbers now for Sheets, 82 games into the season. Really is remarkable when you consider the Padres signed him on a minor league deal before the season began. 265 batting average, 13 home runs, 49 RBIs, 14 doubles. The OPS is creeping up towards 800. It's now 792. The slug is creeping up towards 500. It's now 470. And again, lefty on lefty today. 2 doubles against Abbott. I mean, the way he's producing against lefties, you put the whole package together, the catch he made in left, you cannot be anything more than really pleased with what Gavin Sheets has done this year, what he's become. And quite frankly, the Padres are going to have him for a little while here based on his experience in the major league so far. So really great story and a big swing today for Gavin Sheets. And I'll tell you this is unscientific, and I'd really have to dig into it a little bit to give you the record in this category. But for a while, it did seem like every time Gavin Sheets had a big game, the Padres lost the game. I mean, I can think of a couple right off the top of my head. Every time he had a really, really big game, Padres did not win the game, and it was no fault of Gavin Sheets. So it was nice to see the Padres have a big game from Gavin Sheets and find a way to win it here today. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow's game. It'll be the rubber match of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Cincinnati Reds. Right-hander Stephen Kolek on the mound for the Padres tomorrow. Left-hander Nick Lodolo on the mound for the Reds. First pitch tomorrow at 1:40 p.m. here in San Diego. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show will begin at 12:40. Padres wrap up the series with the rubber game tomorrow in Cincinnati. Then it's off to Philadelphia, where the Padres begin a 3-game series on Monday, an off day on Thursday, and then the Padres have a 10-game homestand to wrap up the pre-All-Star break portion of the schedule beginning on Friday, July 4th, this coming Friday. But again, first things first, rubber game of the series tomorrow in Cincinnati. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. I've said this a handful of times over the last couple of weeks, but we're really trying to get more of our pregame content up there on that podcast feed. So my pregame interviews, pregame press conferences, also even more postgame content for you. We're making a real conscious effort to get more of that up there on the feed for you, make it like a one-stop shop for everything Padres radio related. So be sure to check out the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast feed, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back and watch any portion of our post-game coverage on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Taking a look at the final totals here today for the Padres: 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They left on 9. For the Reds, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They left on 9 as well. Winning pitcher today, Brian Hoeing, who improves to 1-0. Losing pitcher was Lyon Richardson, who drops to 0-2. And the save goes to Robert Suarez, his 23rd of the season. Time of game, 2 hours and 53 minutes. And the crowd at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio, 31,380. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 1:40 p.m. Or excuse me, hold on here a second. Not 1:40. I gave you the wrong time earlier. Should be 10:40 a.m. tomorrow. Let me tell you the right thing before we go. Yeah. 10:40 a.m. tomorrow. The time's right. We're on the air at 9:40. We'll talk to you later. Have a great night. So long from inside our San Diego studios.